Hey everybody, Shadow Dragon here. Welcome to today's video. Today's video is the close range meta, as I have looked into. So I do have a specific order of things, and I'll explain why. We're going to give some detailed stats. That way you have a breakdown of why things are built the way they are and why they are rated the way they are in my video. We also have three honorable mentions, in which we'll get those out of the way first, and then we'll get into the rest of it. So the first honorable mention here is going to be right here. It's the 9mm Damons, and if we go over here, we look at them. So the 9mm Damons are disgustingly broken, especially if you factor in the akimbo ones are broken. The other ones, they leave something to be desired. It's a really fast fire rate, but like the time to kill on them leaves something to be desired. But anyway, this build right here, I'm not going to do tunings for it. You can look at the build, and then I'm going to do a dedicated video on the Daemons. I'm going to try my best to do something like really good with them. I have to change my controller setup and stuff like that for hip fire, otherwise it's going to be obnoxious. But if we look at the time to kill on the Daemons, let's see what they are. They are the white at 11 meters. They have a 606 millisecond practical TTK. That's the one that factors in like all the different body shots. And then out to 24 meters, it's 648 milliseconds. Not that you should be hip firing people at 20 plus meters, let alone, more than 15. But at 15 meters, it's 648. That's really, really fast. So, but there's that. And then our other honorable mention is going to be the M13C. This build specifically is for close range. I have another build that I use for sniper support. This gun does kill faster than the Chimera. It does a lot more damage, but its bullet velocity is worse, and um, it shakes a lot side to side. So you have to build it like this. But the M13C has a, let's see, has a theoretical TTK of 640 milliseconds out to 17 meters. So it's got a pretty good range. But its practical TTK is slightly worse than the Chimera, and that has a lot to do with the bullet velocity and all that fun stuff. Out to 17 meters of 709 milliseconds, which is pretty good. Um, so, and then the Chimera is the last honorable mention here. That's not a Chimera. That's a Chimera. So this one is a close range Chimera. This is not my sniper support build. I will be doing a video on the top 5 best sniper supports in the game. Keep in mind, sniper support is not, for the most part, is not something you're going to be rushing into a building with. It's going to be your close mid range, which is like your 12, 15 meter to 25 meter ish, even 30 in some cases, weapon, and then anything off that is going to be your sniper rifle. So, um, just a heads up. So this is close range. So the theoretical TTK on the Chimera with this build, 27 meters, it has a 675 millisecond TTK, and then it doesn't drop off much. So but it's regular TTK out to that 27 meters. The more realistic one is 706 milliseconds. So they are very good close range options, but not quite as good as the top 5 here. So let's get into the top 5. Number 5 is going to be the MP7, the Valve 46. The MP7 is by far probably the most comfortable gun to shoot for me. This, the bazP, and the vasnav, all are the most comfortable guns for me to shoot personally. I love the Lockman, and it is also very comfortable, but it has a 8-meter range, and then it drops off significantly where everything else is going to beat it. Um, Another honorable mention that I don't have built up here is actually the Fennec. So the Fennec, funny enough, has a 660 millisecond TTK out to 13 meters or 12 meters. Yeah, 12 meters. And then it has a small little drop off, and out to 18 meters it still has a 715 millisecond TTK before it really drops off. and it doesn't even really drop off all that far. So theoretically, you could build the Fennec as a sniper support, and that might go in my honorable mentions as a sniper support. However, I would not be using it as a sniper support outside of solos because of the fast fire rate, missing shots. You're not going to get more than one down at that 15-20 meter range with it. So, but the Valve 46 is by far my favorite. It has a practical TTK. Boo, boo, boo. Valve 46 is blue. Out to 13 meters, it has a 685 millisecond TTK, and then it has the next drop off brings it to 860. So it has a kind of a steep drop off, but it's still really good at that range. So, but also, let's see. Boop, boop, boop. Let's go down to some stats to compare it to. It has the because we're not using a barrel on it. It does have like a standard 540 millisecond um, muzzle velocity that all the other SMGs have as well. But it has the fastest reload time of any of the weapons. It has a 2.63 second reload time, and it's even and that's just without um, if it being empty. To be fair, if it's empty, it's only 0.1 seconds slower, so it's not even really that bad. It has a 203 millisecond ADS speed, which is the second fastest on this list, and then has an 83 millisecond sprint to fire time, which is tied for first with the vasnav. So those are all the good things that you really want to know. So it's going to be a little bit of a longer video because I'm going to go through some stats with you about stuff. But the reason why it's number 5 is because of the time to kill, and the steep drop off where it does drop off. Which brings us to our number 4, which is the bazP. Now the bazP, the reason I put it ahead of the MP7 is because it has the longest damage range of any of the SMGs. It has a 19 meter first damage range where it has a 691 millisecond TTK, and then it drops off at 20 meters to 895, which the Vel beats it out by quite a bit. But it is not the slowest on the list there. The Lockman sub is much, much worse out of that range. But the bazP also is pretty snappy. Its reload speed is third best at 3.37 seconds, and its ADS time looks like fourth best, so it's not quite there, but it's still pretty snappy. At 232 milliseconds, it still has an 84 millisecond sprint to fire time, which isn't much slower than the vasnav and the Valve 46. So this is the build for that. I'll have to go through and show you guys the tunings on the Vel. I apologize for that. Like I said, this video is going to be a little bit longer, but I think you guys would appreciate the information. At least the people who I'm trying to appeal to, so to speak. Number 3 is the vasnav. The vasnav has the slowest ADS time of all of this, and it has everything to do with this barrel. If you want a faster ADS time, you can put this on there, and it does up the ADS time by a little bit. If we go up to the vasnav on my computer here, it gives you 16 milliseconds faster ADS time, but you lose quite a bit of damage range. But you do get some bullet velocity in that. Oh, crap. There we go. So the vasnav has a 265 millisecond ADS time, 83 millisecond sprint to fire time, which is really good. It has a reload speed of 2.07 seconds, so pretty fast. Pretty quick reload speed, which is funny because like in game it doesn't feel that fast. It doesn't feel. Oh, that's his base one. It's got a 3.9 millisecond reload speed, so it's not. Yeah, yeah, no, it's really slow. That's what I thought. But it does have a TTK. We'll go into the practical TTK here. Let's see. The vasnav is purple. So out to 11 meters, it has a 657 millisecond practical TTK, and then it just kind of drops off, and it's the worst in the group at that 12-meter range. But it's still a really good gun, and it feels really good. So the top three weapons, you could very much it's whoever shoots first. Um, Realistically, that's how it's going to be. Whoever shoots first is going to win the gunfight. Next, we have the MP5. This one is built for maximum speed and maximum mobility and all that fun stuff. And the Lockman sub has a 190 millisecond ADS time, which is the fastest in the group. It has 673 meter per second bullet velocity, which is the best in the group. Does not have the best sprint to fire time, and its reload time is actually pretty quick. Let's see here. You got a reload time. It says 3.8 seconds, but it definitely feels a lot faster than that, especially with fast hands. So, but it's not too bad. We got the 40 round mag in there, so that doesn't help much, I guess. So, but this is the build for it. We do use the high velocity ammo here to make it feel a little better, since our damage range is pretty bad. You could swap out for the 50 round mag for trios or for quads, but I think 40 would be sufficient, especially if you play tight with your squad. So the reason this is number 2 and not number 1, because technically this has the fastest TTK out of all of our close range options, but again, it's got an 8-meter damage range, and then it just drops off the table, and it's terrible after that. So that's the whole reason that it's not number 1. But number 1 is going to be the ISO 45. This has been the king since its launch. This build, I like the green glowy stuff. So this build is all about speed and aim down sight speed. So we go to the ISO 45 here. The ISO 45 is a 226 millisecond aim down sight speed, which is pretty quick. And it has a faster reload time. So, and it's practical TTK out to 9 meters is where the first drop off is. It's 640 milliseconds at that first damage range. But in the first damage range, the Lockman kills a bunch faster for the average time to kill at 605 compared to 640. However, the first damage drop off happens at 10 meters, and the ISO kills faster than the Lockman at that range. But the ISO's damage drop offs are nowhere near as severe as the other weapons, and its mobility is disgustingly good. Technically, the Valve 46 has the best tac sprint speed, and the ISO is like third. But for regular sprint speed, the ISO is the fastest, and then for strafe speed, it looks like my Lockman sub build has the fastest strafe speed, and it's pretty by a lot. But just your regular um, sprint speed, this thing's going to be faster. So, and it has the second best reload speed at a little over 3 seconds. So then when we get the tunings, this is how we're going to do this. In the 45 round mag. Well, that's going to do it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed all the information that I shared with you, and I hope that you guys use these weapons. These are built for anybody to use at the ranges that you want to use any of these guns. They are not hard to use at all. I'd say that the ISO 45 probably has the worst recoil. It has a lot of visual shake, but if that bothers you too much, what you can do is, what I do is I drop the rear grip and I put on an optic like the Slimline Pro or the Cronin Mini or the Cronin Mini Pro. Any of these dot sights will work. So I like the Cronin Mini Pro because it's a blue dot. So, but yeah, So that'll do it for today's video, guys. Leave a like, comment to me, let me know what you guys think of my content so far. Let me know what guns you'd like to see. Let me for gameplays. I've said it in my last video. Um, if you guys comment a loadout, even if it pains me, I will run the loadout. And if I cannot get a gameplay for it, and for me, just so you guys know, the way I classify gameplay is if it's if we win anything from like 13 to 15 kills, I'll take if we win the game and I feature the weapon that I'm trying to feature. Um, if we come in top 5, I'll take 15 to 18 kills. And if it's 18 or more kills, I'll just take the whole gameplay because that's a pretty good game, at least for me. So but if I can't get a gameplay with your loadout or the weapon that you want me to try to, what I'll do is I'll get a bunch of kills with it, over time, and I'll make a montage, and I will name the video after you when I upload it. So if that's something you'd like to see, make sure you put that, give me some suggestions in the comments. It really does help. And if you're new here, subscribe to the channel because I got plenty of videos like this. I got loadout videos that I give you the stats straight up, and I tell you what's good and what's not good. Statistically, guns will feel different for every player. Like I know the ISO kills faster and the Lockman kills faster, but I like the other three guns in the list a lot better, and they don't kill as fast. Um, but yeah, so we do this stuff all the time. So make sure you subscribe. You hit that bell icon to get notices for when I post new videos. And I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.